So Taking Back Sunday has seen a lot of transformations and went through a lot through the years.
It's true.
And every interview I'm reading in that, everybody's saying it's at the best point it's ever been at now.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Taking Back Sunday now.
Well, I think all the trials and tribulations we had to go through, we kind of just realized we needed each other if we want to succeed in making music, making the best music we can, and also just personally being happy and having fun. We all get along really well, and we're all just constantly messing with each other and calling each other names and stuff, and it's all in fun, and we know when to leave each other alone now. We've all kind of matured together, even though we were separated for 7 years. So I think we kind of just know how to handle each other now, and it works out real well.
You guys played Warp, oh gosh, almost like 10 years ago.
2004.
2004,
yeah.
So 8. And you're playing it again. What differences do you see?
I just feel like the tour keeps getting more and more diverse. It's a lot younger crowd that used to come out. Like when I would go to the Warp Tour, I was like a 15-year-old kid. And so I feel like we're seeing younger kids and stuff like that, which is really cool. There's a lot more pop sensibility now than the old school punk rock stalwarts who I love. So yeah, there's just kind of been a changing of the guard, I guess, which I kind of miss, but it's a really cool thing because I guess this is the evolution of music and what kids are into today.
Now, where did you grow up at?
I grew up on Long Island, New York.
In Long Island?
Yeah.
How did where you grew up play a factor in your music influence?
I don't know if it had much to do with where I grew up, but just my group of friends were into old school punk rock, like, you know, Rancid and the Bouncing Souls and Alkaline Trio and Lawrence Arms and all that stuff. So I think it's just what we gravitated to because that's what my friends' older brothers were into. And I think that would have happened no matter where I live. And we were just lucky to live in New York that so many great bands would come through and we could see them when, you know, they were still growing and becoming what they are. I think that's what got me to do this as a job, probably getting to go to all those shows.
I've noticed as I walk around and I look at the different t-shirts and that, I see a lot of more of like angels and demons and imagery of modern day t-shirts. Do you believe in angels and demons?
I don't know. That's a deep question. Got probably an hour to get all existential and think about it. So I don't know if we have that kind of time, but I think there's all sorts of that, different versions of that. I've had, you know, angels and demons in my own life, you know, that could be human, and you know, I don't know, different things that were pulling me in different directions and stuff. So I think there's something to that for sure.
A lot of people I've noticed have sung about Jesus in their lyrics lately. It's been very interesting to see it come out of the 90s and 2000s.
Right.
What is your perception of Jesus?
Wow, that's interesting. I would call myself a Christian. I'm a lot more liberal than most people that use the term. But I don't know, a lot of my band were raised in very, very strict Christian upbringings that have got them completely away from religion. So I kind of had like a pretty relaxed version of my upbringing. I was raised Catholic, and yeah, I've since gotten away from all that. And I mean, I think my idea of Jesus and God and everything is a lot different from most people who believe like hardcore. And you know, I have no problem with that. But I just think it's all about love, and that's what God or Jesus or whatever you believe in should be. And you know, I don't really believe in much of the hellfire and brimstone kind of aspect.
Our magazine has done a lot of work with the homeless. You've traveled a lot, it's in the world and country. What are some experiences you've had with the homeless?
I mean, a lot of people have asked me for money and stuff, and I feel like there's a crazy mental illness issue that doesn't get addressed. You know, people just say, oh, they're drug addicts, or they're just, you know, losers, or they're just nuts, instead of like looking to try and help these people. You gotta just push them aside. And I mean, with the people that come up to me, I tend not to give money because I feel like it just supports a drug habit, and I'd rather give to charities that are looking to do something and make something better, or feed people and take care of them and embrace them in that way.
What would you say your most prized possession is?
I guess I really like where I live, if that counts. Yeah, I tend to not put too much, not to concentrate too much on the possessions and things like, oh, I can't live without this thing. Like, I really like my phone because I can call home and talk to my wife anytime. You know, so it's little things like that just make my life out here a little bit easier.
We were talking before the interview about just traveling and being married. How do you keep a marriage together and be on the road most of the year?
It's not easy, but I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I can fly my wife out. She's going to come out to our Dallas show, and she'll stay for 3 days. and then we're in New York a couple weeks later. So we're constantly on the phone. We talk 3 or 4 times a day. Sometimes it's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, whatever we can. Constantly texting, which is a little difficult out here at the Warped Tour. Like, all the signals kind of get jammed. I think everyone's using the same cell tower, so that's annoying. But if we're at a hotel with good internet, we'll get on some FaceTime or Skype or whatever. And it's not easy, but we just love each other so deeply, and she knew what she was getting into when she married me, that this is the best way I can provide for our family, so it's what I have to do.
When you're off the road, do you guys still go to shows, or do you check out for music and kind of just...
No, it has to be
a guy.
Yeah, it's not easy to go to shows. I'm not always motivated when I get home one day and then there's a show the day after I've been out for 6 or 7 weeks. But I love music. That's why I'm here. And when a really good show comes to town, I'm there. Seeing Dave Hawsey from The Loved Ones, he's got his solo record. We've seen him a couple times, and Corey Brannon too. Like, those are the kind of things that get me motivated to go out to shows for sure.
Hey, thanks, Shaun, for the interview.
Nate, thank you. My pleasure.